God, that's so wide. Hey there. Happy Wednesday. As you may have noticed, we're not in the office today. I thought it would be kind of fun to bring you along with me on set to kind of do a day in the life of what kind of a typical shoot looks like for me. Along with that, another thing that I was not really planning on making a video on, but I think it's going to work well. This is a little bit of a travel shoot, so some of our gear that we were renting was getting shipped, and our key light did not make it. So there's going to be some finagling around with the lighting setup to, still get the look that we were going for, but with one less very important light. But I think this is a good lesson on the fact even if things go wrong and you don't have exactly what you thought you were going to have, you still have to get the quality level that you were hired on to bring. So it's going to be fun kind of trying to figure that out and rearranging things to still get the look that we're going after. So yeah, I'm excited to bring you along with me. Let's get going. Ugh. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to talk to camera as much as I was hoping to. It just kind of felt weird, like vlogging with the client there. So I'm gonna kind of explain what was going on in the process through this voiceover here.
Yeah, I like legit notes.
Yeah, it's a nice facility.
It is very nice.
Pretty much the first thing we did when we got in there was kind of try to find our composition. We weren't able to scout this location prior, so we only were going off of the photos that the client provided us of the location. So we kind of went in, looked around, tried to figure out what the best angle would be for shooting.
Do you want to turn these lights off? I guess they're. Let me talk to Hannah and see what pairs.
We can probably honestly leave these ones on because we're gonna diffuse it overhead anyways.
Yeah.
Time to start figuring out our kind of lighting setup for the day. Like I said, it was gonna have to change based on gear that made it versus didn't make it. So first up is kind of figuring out what we're gonna do with our house lights to see if we're gonna, turn any of those on and off before we start bringing in our own fixtures.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to just have them all on.
What is that?
I think we're gonna have to have them all on.
Alright.
I realize I don't think we'll have enough ambience to confuse it, because I'm assuming this is supposed to be like a dark and moody.
Yeah, not that dark and moody.
Yeah. Yeah, we just diffuse overhead and then bring in our own key lights. This will look nice.
After playing around with the house lights, we found out that turn off in sections, but unfortunately it kind of wasn't the sections that would be helpful for us. It wasn't like kind of forwards to backwards. It was kind of just kind of like in rows straight across. And so we couldn't just turn off the lights that were directly above us. We'd have to turn like the whole half off, which we didn't have enough level to pump back into the space to kind of fill that void of ambience. So we kind of had to go with all the lights on, which I was expecting and kind of planned for in pre-production. So our plan kind of to start off is putting a 12 by 12 diffusion up overhead of where our talent would be to kind of block off those overheads from kind of spilling super hard down onto our talent's face in the scene. While we were getting that set up, I was kind of thinking about what we were going to do key light wise, because again, my original plan was to do a book light with a 12 by 12 of Ultra Bounce with a 12 by Magic Cloth skinned to the front of it, which is, just a really nice big soft wrappy key that could be backed up far enough that even with the talent moving around, we wouldn't see the change in light. But unfortunately, with our light that did not show up, we were not going to be able to have enough output to do that. My kind of plan was to use a 600X and a 5-foot dome kind of as our main key light, coming from a really kind of sidey angle, almost just skimming across his face to really make it feel softer, and then wrapping that with a Nova going into a 4x4 floppy of Ultra Bounce. After figuring out the whole key light kind of setup, I wanted to figure out a way to really get a nice defined edge on our subject and on the product. So my thought with this was two F21Xs, I believe.
So I just want to see where I'll rig these backlights here.
And Cardellini clamped them to the back of our 12 by frame that was diffusing our overhead light. And then that was just pointed kind of straight in with grids on them. And that was kind of giving a nice edge around both our talent and on our products. For the overhead diffusion, we ended up going with a 12 by of quarter grid. And the reason why I went for quarter grid over maybe something thicker that would be, softer, was because the fixtures we were using to key with, again, were a little bit lower powered. And so those house lights were what was giving us the main exposure to our scene. And so if we cut too much light out of those lights that, what was giving us our natural ambience, we wouldn't be able to naturally kind of fill that back in with the sources that we had. So I wanted to kind of soften those off and still make this be able to feel natural and believable within the space.
Much softer. Alright, so I think we are going to actually end up using these 2 8x here, and we're going to use those to block these lights that are hitting us right here.
Copy that.
So
Do you want to light anything up? Or do you want to just place those first?
let's get the stuff blocked off first so I can see what we're looking like with just a base level of
Would you
stuff.
rather just use a 12x12 frame?
Oh yeah, let's just do that. Yeah.
Once we had our overhead diffusion up, I was kind of looking at the scene, and I realized that the lights that were in front of him were still kind of polluting our scene a little bit. And these ones behind camera, we didn't really need for our overall exposure, and we're kind of just ruining our contrast. So we decided to put up a 12x12 black just to kind of completely block those out. Once we had that up, it still was feeling like we were getting a little bit too much spill from those top lights from our camera right. And so then I put up 2 more 8x T-bone negs on that side to kind of just close that off. This is kind of what the final look looks like. And I'll kind of break down here real quick. Over here in the top right corner, that's our 600X that we had on the floor just bashing into the ceiling. We set that to a little bit of a warmer color temperature just to give us some color separation. Then over on the batting cages, we just had a 300X just raking across them just to kind of edge out those signs a little bit and the batting cages a little bit more. On our helmets here, and the light that's coming around on our talent. Those are our F21Xs, really just edging him out. Then our key light, like I said, we had our 600X with a 5-foot dome, and then we had our Nova into our 4x just to continue that key light and wrap it around the face. And that's pretty much it. All right, so we just wrapped up the shoot. I just got back home. I didn't film as much as I had wanted to, kind of actually like talking about what we were doing throughout the day, so I'm probably just gonna end up voicing that over what you just heard. I thought I'd be able to like kind of talk to the camera and explain what I was doing while I was doing it, but it felt so awkward like in front of the client and stuff, so I tried to record some like wider behind the scenes shots, and I got some close-ups of the lights and stuff, and so I explained it all in the voiceover, which you've heard by now. But yeah, it was a fun shoot. It was definitely a little tricky. My lighting plan that I had originally, kind of gone in with immediately went out the window before we even got to set. And so I think this was a good test of my ability to problem solve and still get the look that we were after with what we had available and not necessarily what the preferred gear items would be. And to me, I think that's the reason why you get hired is because every shoot you're on, no matter if it's a small thing or a big thing, things are going to go wrong, things are going to change, and you still have to be able to hit the mark of quality that you were brought on to be able to achieve, and that's why you're getting brought on. Hopefully this was helpful to you. If it wasn't, sorry. But anyways, I'll see you next week.